Cool. So we're preparing the live stream, just waiting for the buffer. But in the icebreaker question for today, in the chat, let us know, what are you looking for the most in the metaverse? Are you looking forward to more virtual meetings, creating things in the metaverse, creating 3D objects, anything you want? Let us know in the chat. Awesome. So it looks like we are live. Awesome. Hi, YouTube buddies. We're so excited to be here today with Sonya and Pierre, and talking about how to build your own portfolio in virtual worlds. And here with us today is also Elizabeth from our admin team, helping us moderate our event. And if this is the first Design Buddies event, I'm going to share a really quick couple of slides before handing it off. Design Buddies is a really large design community that I founded in April 2020, and I'm Grace. I founded Design Buddies. I'm full-time a product designer in the games industry. But yeah, we offer a ton of resources, a ton of workshops of fun topics like this. We have a ton of resources on Discord as well, a really large community. You're welcome to join us and follow us on any of our social media platforms. And just some really quick house rules: events are recorded, and by attending, you grant consent. If you don't wish to be part of any of the recording, you can visit us on YouTube. Just search Design Buddies on YouTube. It should be the first one. And we also really like to encourage all of y'all to connect. And so instead of sharing promotional links, your own promotional links in the chat, please share them in our networking sheet jotted by Elizabeth. And we also have some Q&A at the end as well. So we have Slido for this, just so you can all engage in the chat and we have all the questions in one place. Towards the end, we also like to take group selfies. You're welcome to use any of our Design Buddies Zoom backgrounds, share any takeaways, tag Design Buddies, tag our speakers, Sonya and Pierre, on social media, and just connect with each other and hop into Discord to join the wholesome fun and just have fun and be respectful. And with that, I'll hand it off to our speakers.
Great, thank you, Grace. Sonya, maybe you want to start?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So so glad to see a lot of people here. We see a lot of people are interested in this. I think I'm just gonna get right to it. So what do we do actually in UPWorlds is that today UPWorlds is a P2P marketplace for virtual worlds. So we connect community builders, people who are building these virtual worlds, and community users by actually reimagining the creators economy that's possible out there. And today UPWorlds support three big pillars. The first one is that the reimagination of the creators economy. The second one is the education part, which is like in collaboration with Metaxu.studio. How do we bring new builders who are interested to come into industry to like how to build walls, like what kind of resources is needed. And the third one is obviously the builders virtual highlight. So how do we get this builder's name out there? We partner them up with like different XR podcasts, XR companies, XR industry, like all together. Today we have a full running active Discord community filled with builders from different XR application. So if you are interested to actually join us and learn from them, we will be so glad about that one. Hand to you, Pierre.
Yes, great. Thank you, Sonya and Grace. Yeah, maybe just a quick intro on me. I mean, my background is in architecture and 3D visualization, but I was already exploring the real-time 3D graphic in the 90s. So and during my architecture studies, so I always approach the metaverse from a very spatial and architectural standpoint. And then we decided to create early this year a virtual reality design studio focused only on producing digital architecture, a bit like my background here. And so we've, over the last few months, we've designed a series of template galleries that have been developed working with various artists and designers. And we've done that by hosting regular virtual events, working with these digital artists so they can display their art piece or even their NFTs. And then we've also explored the potential of live performance in virtual environment with magicians, and even tarot card reader. So a wide range of possibilities, and I'm always curious to see how we can bring this virtual architecture to new use case to help new people using this amazing technology.
I mean, of course, like we are kind of curious also to see about like if you guys have ever had an experience in a virtual world, you know? Who has got that experience here? Like just any virtual worlds. The
maybe
Sims is a virtual.
what would be interesting, I mean, do a lot of you guys have a headset or not? That's another one. I mean, today we'll be mostly going through. So shall we give a little more
background?
a few words on what we're going to say? I mean, I don't know how much people, what's people's knowledge. Oh, Rift S, there we go. There is some headset there. I think maybe
for people that have, you know, just starting to try. So a lot of people has Quest. That's great.
There we go.
And so I think for we're just gonna give like a little background that about virtual worlds. Today we have like 2 types of virtual worlds, and it's the web-based virtual worlds, and another one is what we call like application virtual worlds. And virtual worlds, what we see today, a lot of virtual worlds are nested in like VR platforms, which means like a VR social platforms, like Social Life. Then we have VRChat, then we have Altspace, Somnium Space. Like we have a lot of like a range of like the social XR platforms. And then we have another one is like what we call like a collaborative platforms. So collaborative platforms are normally being used like for like a more serious application, for working, like for co-working space, for designing. So it's called like collaborative platforms, and some of them can be opened by headset, some of them can only be opened by computer, some of them can be opened by mobile, but what we're going to show you today are the one that can be opened in those 3, headset, mobile, and also a computer. Why is that? Because we are actually going to be focusing more on the WebXR today, because we're going to be talking about portfolio, which means that we want this to be very accessible for everyone, including people who are looking to, you know, like really like transform their 2D paper portfolio into like the 3D one. You would want like maybe the TA, the talent acquisition, to be able to open them, or just basically anybody. So yeah,
definitely. And if we want to bring a little bit of a maybe not controversy, but definitely one way to describe the metaverse would be to call it an open metaverse, by using some open source application like Mozilla Hubs. We can actually make it open for every creators to use it and create their own world, without being owned by any other company. So that's another big difference at this stage. Maybe also, another.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, another distinction is obviously the WebXR is accessible on the screen, but on any device through a browser. So you can obviously get into your Quest, open a browser, and you could access those worlds as well. But the big challenge tonight is there is a lot of people that's going to want to access this. So maybe we'll stick to the computer for most people, because the more people gonna get access to their headset, the slower it's gonna get. So I would suggest to try to stick to your screens for tonight.
Unless of course they have a headset and they want to like kind of like go in from there, that's fine too, because it's just basically like a browser, right? So I mean, who knows where you're opening your Zoom in? You could be opening them in the headset for all we know.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, let's see. It's going to be an experiment, so we'll see how many people. Shall we explain a little bit the more technical detail for tonight? So because we're going to use this world. So we're going to visit 3 different worlds, and they're all on Mozilla Hubs, but on a separate client. So not on the Mozilla Hubs for free, but they're hosted on probably on AWS, I would imagine. But there is a maximum of 24 avatars that can get to this world at the same time. So what's going to happen is you're going to, maybe shall I share my screen to show so people can get familiar with what they're going to see?
Yeah, I think before we kind of jump into that, maybe I'm just gonna like walk you guys about like what Mozilla Hubs first. So today we have a lot of like virtual XR applications, so many. And every day being in the industry, we see like even like, I think every day like 5, 6 are being born. Of course that, so today we have Outspace, we have Mozilla Hub, we have Spatial, we have VRChat, we have Somnium Space, we have Immerse, we have, I can go on and name everything, but so the difference between one to another between this application is, first, of course, the realism of the virtual worlds. The second is the market audience. Some of these virtual worlds are more catered to maybe like younger audience, like they're teenagers. Some are more catered to professional audience. Another one is more catered to like the social audience. And Mozilla Hubs is actually one of the application of this, something that I would say in the middle of everything, like that they can be used for social, they can be used for professional, they can also be used for like younger audience. Because last year, I think Pierre has got like they have created a wall for children who wants to experience Christmas. But couldn't go anywhere, and so they use like this to entertain the children, which is beautiful. So what we're gonna the application that we're gonna be showing you guys today is something that's very accessible, and of course, like this is also one of the things that we have a lot of the builders coming into UPWorlds, you know, that I talk to every day, that they're starting. So we call them like new builders. And their first question is normally about like, how do I start like to become a builders in the industry, and what application should be best? And I would always kind of say that, well, any would be good, but if you don't have like a VR headset, or maybe if you're just trying you're just trying like to push the boundaries to understand where you can get, I would say Mozilla Hub would be like your first getaway to try this, and then only move your way up into like a more high-end headset, and then started building for like Outspace or VRChat. But of course, you know, everyone has got their learning curve, and if yours is short, you know, feel free to jump into like another one, like not in that order. So yeah, I think like now, so what Pierre is going to walk you guys through is a little bit about the technicality that we have inside Mozilla Hub to make like all of your experience better also.
Yeah, no, that's totally correct. I think Mozilla Hubs is probably the most accessible platform, and they've got their own 3D online software. So you could even, without knowing any 3D software, you could already start to build a world very quickly. But so I'm going to share my screen so you be familiar with what you're going to see. Let's try this share screen. So this is going to be the first world. Hopefully everyone can see this. And we're going to share this link, and as soon as you click on the link, you'll see this classic window, and you can either join the room or enter on your device. It will give you a code, or depending if you have a connected device or Quest, but I'm sure that those who's got the headset knows how to do it. And then there is a spectate button. So what happened, because there is so many people tonight, well, it's going to be a bit of a rush to the gold mine. The better connection will be able to join the room, and then everyone else will receive a message saying the room is full, so you can join as a spectator and click on the orange button, or you'll have to be patient and just watch my screen, I'm going to try to be a good director and not moving the camera too much, so you'll be able to follow us and see what we're going to show you in there. Shall we share the first link, Grace?
Yeah. So before we actually jump there, so we are going to show you guys 3 rooms today, and because of the limitation of this, we do hope that everyone actually got the chance to jump into this room. So if you happen to experience the first room, maybe let like someone else experience like the second room as well. Unless then some people cannot open and then you still can enter, then yeah, then that's a different case. But we do want everyone to be able to experience this. Okay, guys?
Yeah. Shall I share the link now?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Elizabeth can share.
I'm going to...
Oh, one more thing, guys. What we're going to do is make sure you mute yourself, everyone, even us, when we enter the virtual room. So we're going to keep the sound going on Zoom. It's a bit of an annoying one, because actually when you are in those spaces, the sound is spatialized. But with the number of people today, maybe we're not going to explore the spatialized sound. We'll keep that for another time. So make sure you mute yourself when you enter the room. Whoa, here we go. Rarely this is a beautiful spectacle to see all those people getting into the lobby. Cool. Well, I'll join the room then.
Oh, wait, Pierre, don't jump, because I may not be able to enter actually while you're there.
Yeah, you're too late already. There you go.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay. Let everyone else experience this. I can just explain things from your windows.
We already have echo.
Okay, hold
on. Who's not muted?
Yeah, if you're not able to join, it's probably full, but we are live streaming the whole thing to YouTube, and you can check out the room in a bit afterwards, because we'll have 3 rooms we'll be exploring together today.
Yeah, okay.
Does everyone has the echo?
I didn't hear any here.
Okay, it's me then.
Yeah, I think some people heard the echo there. Yeah, I think everyone heard the echo.
Trying to get a cooler avatar. Okay. So yeah, for those who want a cool avatar, you can use Ready Player Me.
Let me give you guys the link on this one. Ready Player Me. So Ready Player Me is one of the avatar maker that I personally and Pierre, I bet, like, we really love these guys. Like, they created like one of the most cool avatars actually, and avatars has been known to become like a digital passport inside the virtual worlds, because I have went to some events and then someone come up to me and say like, I've seen you before. I was like, where? You can't be, I'm an avatar. And he was like, oh, in some other event, because I remember your clothes. And so your avatar is really like the extension of who you are in the real world. It's awesome, guys. And Ready Player Me allow you guys to decorate your avatar. All you have to do is just go there and then like upload your own photo, and it will create a representative of your face inside an avatar, and you can like beautify yourself. And the cool thing is that Ready Player Me actually work together with different brands like New Balance, like Dior, like they're always extending this. So you can kind of like deck yourself up into it and come into the virtual worlds with branded clothes. Okay, so let me just explain a little bit about this room. So this room is called the MetaHood office. So this is built by one of our builders. Oh, you're kicked out here.
I just want to make sure, is the sound okay for everyone?
Yeah, I don't hear an echo on my end, so
no.
I think it should be fine.
Okay, that's good. I'm just muting myself here as well.
Okay. So this is actually created by one of our builders. He created this as an example of co-working space. So this has been rented a couple of times and been used a lot for people who are looking to do like a virtual like meetings like that. And then because hubs actually also allow you to do like a whiteboarding, like I see a couple of people are doing it already. And so this room can be used also for like brainstorming. Now, the application of this, like the virtual office, virtual meetup, lobby that can be used by influencer, blogger, who else that we see using this? Singer, you know, they use this kind of application to build like an extension of their product or services. So some of them actually, maybe they're an influencer or blogger, and then they want like a community as well. They wanted to have like their virtual space. So they asked the builders to create like an extension of like their brand, like a custom walls, if they want a custom walls. Otherwise, they can actually rent it out from the builders that are already created this, and they can actually meet up here. And we do see the application of this a lot. Hence, it's we actually think that it's nice for people who are meeting like with other people to bring those people like into this kind of space. And then because it feels very different, like because you're an avatar, it really doesn't matter, especially when you actually come in with headset. You can be across the world all together, and you will feel the presence of, you know, being with someone else here. To be honest, I've never met Pierre in my life in person, but we have gone through enough like virtual walls, like we feel really close. So I love to see like how designers here are very creative, of course. The first thing they want to do is like doodles. So
it seems to work pretty well. There is a lot of people there, so that's really cool. Everyone has a good experience. Seems that it's pretty stable.
Pierre, can we while they're doodling this, can we go into another room? Like I want to show them like the cool part of this.
I'm gonna load the next room. I'm gonna grab the
no,
link
sorry.
here.
I mean like not the next
sorry.
room.
In this
the next room.
Yeah, there we go. Everybody's there.
Okay, so what's the cool thing about this room is that when you actually bring someone here, each one of the seat can be occupied, which means that if you actually try sitting down in this room,
press Spacebar.
Yeah, all you need to do is just press Spacebar, and then you will be seated in this space.
You press Spacebar and you click on the little white character there.
So okay, so it's there. He's seated, right?
Oh,
what happened?
I went teleport in the other room. Let's try to sit around the table. Everyone, join me.
Yeah, we see some people are already doing it. Awesome. Okay, so you can imagine like doing this with like people, right? Where you come into a room and then everyone can be seated in like one round table or square table in this case. The virtual feelings of it, the presence of it is much higher, and this is cool, for people who are doing like a serious conversation, a focus group. A lot of the application of this we actually see also in a what do you call that thing, like a spiritual like a mental health like a mental health industry, where people kind of like created like a room for therapy, like a focus group, like a sharing session. So this way everyone can kind of like see everyone, and they feel like more closer. Yeah, so that's what this room is about, and that's the application of this room. I hope that you guys have just tiny bit about like the application of this. Feel free to actually take a picture of this and then tag us in Metaxu and in UPWorlds as well, so that we can tag the builders. He will be very happy to see so many people like are here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start the other room already, because sometimes it takes a little bit of time to start the other room. So I'll go
okay,
ahead.
somebody is asking Pierre about like how to get up from the chair. Somebody's stuck.
Just move. No, should be.
I think you're supposed to be able to move around. Just because it doesn't like bind you together.
Yeah, you're right. You're stuck.
Oh.
You probably want to press on another one. Are you stuck? Oh, interesting. You're right.
So you're stuck.
That's interesting.
So that is a great UX feedback, everybody.
Yes.
So we're going to give this to the builders. I'm going to write this down.
Yes.
Share is stuck. Oh, you got out? Click on the outside share and then spacebar. Truthfully, building a virtual walls is a lot like building product. The difference is that like we do a lot of like user like a user experience testing here as well. Like for example, like some people are building this and we call in a lot of users to actually test the virtual environment. Some people have maybe more motion sickness. Some people like, you know, they're stuck in the chair, like, you know, all these things. Then all of this becomes like a good insight for the builders to always kind of like iterate and make the world better. The last world that we're gonna take you guys in has been like iterated, which is made by Metaxu.
Before we jump quickly into the, oh, actually, you know what? We said we'll jump into the product, or we jump to the Metaxu one.
Product.
I think you have the link.
Oh.
I think you have to share the link, Sonia.
Okay.
Can these virtual rooms be accessed through the VR headset?
Yes.
Very much.
So if someone want to try this, please give it a go. You when you open the link, maybe the next link, instead of enter during the room, you can just enter on device. And once you do enter on device, you have to choose, if you have a PC VR, so if it's connected to your PC, it's pretty straightforward. You can just transfer to your PC VR. If it's on the Quest, you're going to receive a room code. And then you can go on your Quest, type the short link that will be shown as well, and then the room code. So if you make sure you read the instruction carefully, I'm sure everyone will find its way. Did you find the link for the product room, Sonia?
Yeah, I do. It's here. So should I share you?
Oh yeah, or we can just if I want to have a chance to get inside first, maybe.
Okay, here.
If you send it me first.
Let's figure enter first, okay, guys.
Where is it? It's this
in the
one.
chat. Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
there we go. There we go. And then I'll share my screen with this one as well.
Okay, so while we're waiting for this to load, I'm just going to give you a little background about this world. So
Yes.
this one is one of my favorite. Why? But I love the application of this. This world is being used for product and services. So this is an extension of a product and services, which is like the where we personally see like the application of virtual worlds will be in commercial. When I say commercial, I mean like product, services, theme park, medication. What else? The client that we normally have. I mean, yeah, brands, influencer. Okay, so do we have people here? I think you guys can jump now.
Yeah. Everybody's
Okay.
joining. Someone is already playing with the shark.
Okay, good. Okay, so this wall is a custom wall made by one of our builders. You can see this guy is here. He is Ben, and so he made this for one of the brand that reached out to us. They want to create an extension of their new products. So they created this new type of beer, and they wanted to tell people what is this beer all about. And normally they would do this in a grandiose way. They would take like a physical place, and they would like host the event there. But this happens actually last year, apart from the fact that we couldn't get together, and also like this one is like very affordable, obviously, than taking like a physical space. And so he had like a specific request for this world, is that first he wants people to know the background of like why is this world, sorry, why, like what's the background of this brand and the product. And also he wants people to have an experience about like their social media, and where they can actually load the video about like what do we do here. And then the interesting part is that they want to have an extension to their store. Like, so how do we do that? So Pierre, can you move it out? No, move to that are you 18 and above?
This one.
Yeah, okay, that one.
Yeah.
So Ben, the builders, created for them a space where they can like order virtually. So if you go into this space, is that they would ask you, like, hey, are you 18 and above? And then this will be taken into their checkout immediately.
Yeah.
And this is a very interesting, this is actually one of the features that people are loving about the most, especially brand and services. Because this is basically like a new market, like the new user engagement for them. This is like a new type of marketing. And this is why this is one of my favorite. And we in UPWorlds, we kind of like focus a lot on product and services apart from like, like socials. And so if you guys go into like each of these, what do you call this? Like a JPEG, like on the wall, some of them are clickable, and each of them are connected to a different places. Like some of them are connected to a video. You can actually load a YouTube here. Some of them are connected to your social media. Some of these are actually connected to, I've seen some people actually add like a form here, which means like if you want to do like a user research, you can say, hey, do you want to join our user research? Like click on this link here, and when people click that, and they will be taken into like this form that they can fill, but then they never have to leave this room. So it's like a continuous experience for this. I love it. I see a lot of the people love this wall as well.
Yeah, just out of curiosity also from our audience, how do people find out about these things? I know they're used for like marketing purposes, but how do you like communicate? How do you like get people who are used to like traditional 2D or Web 2 environment to get into this world over here?
I think
that's what we are wondering every day.
I think that's a learning curve, Grace, obviously. But the nice thing about what do you call this? Like, I think the first thing that they need to know is like the accessibility, right? Like when you don't know about it at all, like when you come into the headset, you become like very confused. But then if suppose you come in like from WebXR, you will kind of like be able to like navigate slowly. There is a learning curve. But what we know is that once people actually like try this, or whenever we do like a client reach out, and we kind of like take them into like the experience of it, I don't think I've heard anyone who says that, I don't like it. Because then the first thing they would ask is just like, is this accessible, through mobile, through headset, or through computer? We're like, yes. And they're like, yeah. This is like a more immersive application of my website. And so people are kind of like just we have some question about
otherwise we can jump into the last world.
I saw some question. How do you get people? Okay, somebody already asked that. How do you get people? Obviously by example. Okay, by sharing them some like an open link so that they get to experience this themselves. That's the best thing, because there is no way, I tell you, there's nothing to justify how is the feeling in the virtual world. Like people really need to like experience this themselves, and unlikely they don't like it. Somebody is asking about what's the YouTube link? Sorry, what was the YouTube link for what?
Oh, no, I just shared, because we're also live streaming on YouTube, so I just shared it in the chat.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I think that's definitely to answer that question. I think the best way to bring people in and to explain what VR can do is to take them into these worlds. So that's why we were focusing on hubs mostly for the last few months, because it's so accessible. You can just share the link and invite them in there. And like, for instance, me, instead of doing meetings on video, I just share a hubs link and invite people to have a conversation in those virtual world. And usually they find it much nicer and funnier than the video call. So yeah, it's a good way to engage with anyone, I think.
We have a very interesting question. Do you have a solution for people with a motion sickness? I love these questions. Okay, this is design question, guys. Okay, I know that this sounds like a technical question, but really, like, the more you and back me up here, Pierre has got a PhD in like a virtual worlds design. To reduce a motion sickness is to design the world better. There is a lot of like the 3D, I would say like a 3D UX principle, which is the fundamentally they're like the UX that we have a lot of product designers here. We have learned like some of the like a user experience principle, like what do they like, what they don't like, but it's more like in the 2D, right? 3D though, like they also have their UX principle, and they're based by the 2D UX, but it's more just a more extensive version of it. And how do you make sure that people don't get motion sickness is that is how we design the world better. So these are all the work of a designer. Developers on hand is like a collaborator here. I can actually explain like a long, like this is a huge conversation, but definitely
yes, I think you're right. I mean, definitely any device these days, which we call 6DOF, is pretty okay. I mean, the Quest, which is the most common and probably the less high quality, you don't get sick because obviously you play basic game. But once you have the hardware, then the question is how to design, to create the software properly. Someone says exactly teleporting is definitely much better than moving around. So if you play in hubs, don't use the joystick to move around, teleport, and you will already feel the difference. It's much more comfortable to teleport. But then different platforms have different ways of teleporting. So yeah, it can be a long conversation. Shall we jump into the last world?
Yes, please. I think while Pierre is kind of like loading on that one, I'll just kind of like do an extension of this.
You can share the link, please. The third link. And then I'll share my screen.
Elizabeth, do you have the link? Do you want me to share the link? Oh, okay. Okay.
So this world, this is a Metaxu.studio creation. This is a really cool history for this one, because this is actually the first space we've started with designing, and yeah, it's really interesting. So we designed it, but actually we quickly realized it was very big, and so we decide to. I mean, today it's completely open, but actually we're going to see how many people we can have in here. But it's not. There is no art piece everywhere, so you'll see there is some empty spot. But it is a very big space. So I'm going to show you. So there is a center here. Actually, we've closed the center, but there is 7 arms. So that's why we call it the Metaxu 7 arms. And you can walk all the way around and discover various artists. So this particular exhibition is a work in progress, and we work with for the James Webb Space Telescope that's going to launch in December. And so there is various artists who have done some work in relation to that. And so it was at the beginning we did this because it's really obviously well supporting for 2D art with those places where you can really stack easily the art. But then we kept exploring, and then we realized, okay, we can actually bring 360 videos in here. So you can actually get in the middle of the 360 videos. Obviously, videos can be probably a bit lagging for everyone across watching on YouTube. I don't know what's going to be left of the video. And then, yeah, more 2D art. And I think we have also the great thing with this space, we can also bring a 3D object. So this is, for instance, a pebble. You can bring a 3D object here. And then
you guys can design the 3D object in Blender or like anywhere really, and then export it out and then bring them here.
And then just to show you a few functionalities, easy to use hubs. I can, for instance, so that's going to be interesting. We're going to be definitely extended extended reality here. Let's see if I can. That's not going to work, is it? Ah, no, because my camera is already taken by there. So I was about to bring my camera on the wall there, but that's not going to work. I'm going to try to share. And I share my screen inside the screen. That's getting confusing, isn't it? Let's try.
Okay.
Can I do that? Let's see. Yes, there we go. So you can share your screen, and then there are those smart frame on the wall. So you can actually get close, and when they get blue, you can just drop it there. So you can share your screen there.
This is how like we do our meeting. Like we invite people here, and then we're just navigate our slide, but everything is kind of being projected here.
Or you can take any image from your desktop, just drag and drop in the space here, and again, easily with your mouse, where you need to learn a little bit how to manipulate the mouse, but you can quite easily bring your image and just drop them into those frames. Then what's good?
We had someone, I think Pierre, like one of the worlds that you guys created was being rented by a photographer, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So she wanted to create like a storytelling experience based on her photography. So I think Pierre and the Metaxu has created for them like a passage like that. So whoever coming into like the space can actually like walk like in that design passage, so they don't miss any of the artwork, and like that creates like a storytelling, you know, about like what happened here after that, until the end. It was so nice.
What's this? I mean, I can bring this. There we go. You can just bring an image, and
yeah,
I mean, you can also bring an image like this. Press spacebar. You have a few options, and then you can bring this into the space. Where is everyone, by the way? Do I have a few people in the room here? Not so many. How many are we in the room?
How many do you have? Oh, 17. Okay.
17. Where is everyone? Come on. Can we I was trying, because this one I tried to bring, I think we should be able to have 35 people with an avatar in the room. So come on, bring it on. Let's see if we can crack this.
You know what, guys? We actually want to try. We want to push the boundaries with like, we want to test this. So
yes.
When you get there, I know there's going to be an echo, but Pierre, let's try, so that they can interact with each other. Let's see like how that goes, like having a lot of the people there.
If you want to try the sound in the space, make sure you mute yourself in the Zoom, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, please join me in this.
Oh,
there we go. People are coming over there. Ooh.
For the one that's like this, that experience like dizziness, may I ask, is this your first time in the virtual worlds? Because that happens. Yes. Okay. So that can happen sometime, guys. Like the very first experience can give you that that motion sickness. But today I'm actually inside a headset for like about maybe 4 hours a day, like back to back. I think after a while your brain kind of like adjusted to it. Don't worry, nothing is gonna go wrong with the brain or anything. It's just kind of like how your brain kind of like adjusted to that new reality, because it's a different reality than like our reality, right? And after a while
we've got someone with a headset, just one with a headset here. I'm curious to see.
You see a hand?
Someone has a headset. I'm curious to see if it works for him or her. Yeah, someone is talking in the space. So you see someone, if someone talks in the space, you see the head moving. Hello, hello here. Can you say something? There we go. So that's good. That's 30 people in the room. So that's pretty good. This is well, some are in the lobby though. Oops, there we go. I've been kicked out. Great. Well,
so you guys can actually imagine, you can imagine like using this kind of rooms. Of course, there are two things that comes here. The first one is that the design of the room itself matters whenever you guys want to create like a storytelling experience. The second one is, of course, is the story that you guys are saying. Whether it's a portfolio, whether it's a CV, whether it's a product or services, it's something that you guys can create within a virtual world, and definitely can get like a better engagement from your user.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't go to the story, but the point is that we start to use this space, but then because we maybe we work with only a couple of artists, so what we've done is we reduce the size.
Is Pierre frozen?
Is Pierre? Oh yes. Okay, I thought that was me.
I thought that was me too. I was picking up for a sec because I'm live streaming. Oh no.
Oh, hold on. It's okay. He'll come back, guys. His it's 2 a.m. his time. I think his internet like, let me go already. Yeah. So I mean, so with this, right, guys, you can actually create like a storytelling, especially with like that not only with the image, right, but also with the 3D the 360 experience. Imagine like telling a story with that kind of things, like where you invite you invite your, what do you call this, like your users into the space. We had like one of very unique experience, I would say. So one of the builders created like he loved like he loved this like particular band, and he wanted to create a virtual worlds for this band, like dedicated a song for them. So what he does is that he created like a virtual walls with like with a 360-degree experience, where he invited people to join him, and they can actually go inside the world. They can pick up each of the vinyl on the wall, and when they grab it, they could hear the song. But when they lose it, like they won't hear the song anymore. because you can actually embed like a music, a sound, or like any like ambience effect into like an object within this virtual worlds. Like everything is kind of like is simulated in their own way, right? So the possibility is like endless, and that world is so famous. Like a lot of the people love that world. That is actually an extension of a service instead of a product. So I'm not sure if Pierre is coming back. Maybe the internet just died.
But should we cover some Q&A while we're at it, and we can do a group photo when Pierre comes back, so Pierre can be in it too. Yeah, sure. I'll read them out loud for our buddies on YouTube as well. Where are all these rooms built on? I know Pierre talked about using Blender to 3D model, but how do we like assemble everything together so they're interactive?
So all of these worlds are built in a different places, but obviously the most like common thing that the builders use is that they use Unity, they use Blender, some of them use Photoshop, honestly, of course, just to like color some stuff. What else do they use? Unreal Engine, they use that as well. But those four, I think, would just be like the top. And if we have to choose like two top, it would be, that's right, that would be Unity and Blender.
Awesome. Pierre's back.
Oh, Pierre, you're back.
Wait, let me make you co-host so I can unmute. Where are you? Okay. Cool. You should unmute now.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, some at least we know it's good that hubs hold on to it, and then it's Zoom that cracked down. But yeah, it suddenly closed on me. So there we go. Yeah, but you're right. So for us, our workflow is usually Rhino to create the curvy and organic design, and then we go in Blender for texture and baking texture, and then we take this into different. It could be Unity or it could be Hub Spoke, but yeah, that's a bit the workflow we are using. Unreal is also an amazing engine, but definitely more on the high end and more high end materials, higher quality materials. So maybe for more like a downloadable application instead of the WebXR at this stage, I would say.
Awesome. Yeah. Also, another follow-up question is, how is a host on a website? Like, how do you like make 3D models in like Blender, upload into Unity, and how do you actually make what you made in Unity onto something they can, like a link you can share with people?
I think you can actually share the link, the one that you guys created, remember? For like, how do you like just build like a normal...
From Unity? If it's built in Unity, that's what that's the question. I didn't follow. Yeah. So Unity is able to export for WebXR. That's one way, and then you can just add it in on your website, or you can create an executable file, and then people have to run the program. That's always come down to that, but I think that's what's great with Hubs is definitely to start. You can just create your venue in Hubs and share a link, and people can get in there. Because if you create a world in Unity, for instance, it's not going to be by default multi-user. So we see there is a big part of that, of the experience which work well because you are able to get there together and be there together. So I think WebXR
there's a setting for this, like there's a setting for this inside Unity. It's called, I think you have to download their Android SDK if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and then like inside that setting, you can choose like headset Quest, or like basically any headset if you have a headset, right? Like you can choose which headset is this made for, and then you can choose multiplayers, and with that you can kind of like port out with that kind of functionality.
Yeah, it's not
right,
that
Pierre?
easy. I mean, yes, you can make it work with the headset, but to get the multi-user running, it's not that easy. For instance, Mona, which is another platform we were actually really excited about, because they did this great competition and we've submitted a lot of worlds. I mean, there is 75 builders who create their world, but they're still not multi-user. So they're still working on having their platform multi-user on the web, even though they are in Unity. So yeah, because as soon as you talk multi-user, you need a lot of server behind to make sure you synchronize the sound and the movement and the object. So it is yeah, it is a challenge always, but we're pretty successful today. I'm really happy with the amount of people we had together in the space. I think that was pretty good.
Awesome. I know you have some more questions. Oh, go ahead.
Like an interesting question someone actually asked, is there a pre-made, is there a pre-built framework that we can just load our 2D work into a VR portfolio? And the answer is yes, it's called a template. And that is actually one of the things that we will be like discussing with Grace a little furthermore once we're done with this meeting, so that like how do we be able to create that template for you guys to use as well later. So wait for that one.
Yeah, there we go. Some people knows about the other system, 3GS. A-Frame is another great platform, definitely.
A-Frame is a good platform for you guys to start learning about like the programming side of like building walls. It's a very friendly platform.
Another quite good question. Like sometimes the bandwidth is a lot and it crashes. And the question from Slido from a while ago is, how do you measure bandwidth and ensure activity doesn't crash the site, especially like for like large events and expos? And what applications can support high traffic?
Yes, so that's I think there is no ready-to-use application. Obviously, well, if you go for the proprietary software application, they can handle more people than the WebXR, because they have their own server, although this is evolving pretty quickly. But otherwise, what's beautiful with those virtual worlds is you can just create instance of one room, and it doesn't cost anything. So we tried to keep everybody in one room, but we could just actually create, I don't know, 10 of the similar rooms, and we could have 30 people in each of the room, and then we could stream inside the room, for instance. The trick with that is, if you want to collect, or if you want to interact with everybody in the 10 different rooms, you kind of need someone that's there to host the room, or to be the room host and interact with everyone. So yeah, there is a logistic to it, and we definitely actually we are preparing an event like that. So it's an interesting challenge.
Yes. One of the experience I've ever had is that last year I created like a workshop to teach people how to like on the 3D UX side. And what we did is that we did exactly like what Pierre said. We hosted like in one world, but then we created a lot of instance of that world. In each of the world, there can only be about like I think 40 people, but the minute the 41 person like come in, it's going to create like new instance automatically. So they couldn't interact with each other, but they can see me. So the stage becomes like becomes available to all the instances that are open. So they can still have the experience of seeing me as the speaker. They can also ask me question in live, and I can still answer them. So that kind of experience is not many people actually realize that they're separated in a different room, unless they probably know somebody like on the other room. They're like, where are you? You know, like I can't see you. That's how they kind of like know.
Awesome. Do we have a couple extra minutes to run through as many questions as we can? Just want to check on our hosts.
Yes,
yes. Okay.
That would be great.
Oh, cool. I just want to make sure. Yeah.
I was actually replying to a question here, a technical question about 3D software, and for the WebXR, the standard file format is GLB, and that's why we usually use Blender to export those GLB, because, for instance, in 3D Max you can't export a GLB natively. So, but yeah, please shoot.
Awesome. Cool. You have some more questions. Do you want to do a quick group photo first before we continue with the questions? I'll just take like 5 seconds. If you all want, I can count down and then we can do some more questions.
How do we do a group?
Oh, yeah. I'll take the photo. Just everyone has to turn their camera. Yeah. I could do a photo and a wave and then we can hop into more questions. And at the same time,
let's show some faces.
Yeah. At the same time, feel free to just keep dropping the questions on Slido and keep upvoting them. I'll drop it again, and then we'll continue on with it afterwards too. This is really interesting. I'm super excited for this metaverse and all the virtual worlds coming up as well. Cool. I'll count down. Oh, go ahead.
No. You do that. I'll ask the question. I have a question after.
Yeah, for sure. Feel free to bring any object you want. I have Fluffle with me. I always do this. All right, I'm gonna do a photo and then a wave for our Instagram story. So, all right, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'll take multiple and pick the one everyone looks the best in. Okay. 1. Say Metaverse. Metaverse. Huffle. All right, we can wave now. All right, ready, set, wave. Hello, buddies. We just finished, or we're still in Q&A of our wholesome event on how to create your own virtual worlds with Sonya and Pierre. Thank you, buddies, for coming. Catch the recording on YouTube. Cool. Awesome. So
yeah, I was really curious to if you can just briefly tell me the industry you're working on. Is that like all sort of industries, or are you all in similar industries? What kind of work are you doing, everyone?
Yeah, let us know in the chat. What do you do? Like, are you a UX designer? What industry are you in? Are you in gaming, fintech, tech?
Gaming, yeah, in I don't know, yeah, finance, fintech, health. What is it everywhere, or is it developer? Developer. That's not an industry, is it? Social media. Yeah.
Education, nice.
Games industry, education.
Learn a 3D modeler.
Yeah, but more like who are you working for? No, industry is more. Is it health?
Scientific research.
Scientific research. There we go.
Or if people are students or learning design, what industry do you want to work in? E-commerce, media tech, sustainability, asset management, UX for games, media entertainment. Nice.
Cultural sector. That's cool. We have we've also done a bit of photogrammetry, and we have a Hub's World of a reconstitution of the Buddha of Bamiyan, for people knows. So yeah, that's really a cool sector that I'm really keen to explore. But it seems that's pretty hard to know how to touch the right person in the cultural sector.
Shout out to e-commerce and marketplace.
So yeah, Bianca, if you have any, if you want to see, if you want to chat about VR for cultural heritage, reach out, please.
In terms of education, actually just last week we have gotten like a builders that come up with like a way for teachers to teach language in a virtual world. So he created a virtual world that would help people. So it's like a big virtual world. People can go inside that world and then just kind of like travel from like the map. So if you say that you're going to like Mexico and then they speak Spanish there, you can go inside that world and then you can experience Spanish in all their culture, their language, their day-to-day, like how do you greet people? So when user come into the world, first they're gonna find somebody that's gonna greet them in Spanish, and then like there's a note of like how you would reply, what is the food there, what is the like how do you order food? So it's actually quite interesting.
Yeah, I think that the principle behind that is that we use space as a way to structure our memory. That's part of the research I've done, and that's what I think very exciting is when you go through a journey, you can attach certain type of information, and that's help you to remember through this sequence through space. So yeah, it's a very powerful way.
That's one of the things that we've been hearing from people as well. Whenever they come into a virtual world, whenever they see a product or services, like an experience basically, because your mind, like a user's mind, actually, they responds better with they responds better with things that they see visually rather than something that they hear. You know, or when you go into a virtual world, you feel that you're so present, and presence built like that, like a better memory.
Yeah.
And so and that has translated into like a better user engagement without like user even realizing it, like why.
And through the movement, through the body, through the movement of our body, that's how we remember even more when we use our body in relation to all that. So.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities for like education and everything as well.
Yes. Yeah.
I made games to train surgeons to do surgery, like at my internship 2 years ago. So it was really fun.
Okay.
It was a VR game to train surgeons.
That's interesting. There is a company doing that in London. The Fundamental VR, you know them?
I don't. I worked at Intuitive Surgical as an intern. They make the Da Vinci robotic surgery, but they had another department that focuses on training tools. So yeah, it was really fun and excited to see like a lot of opportunities in VR for education and even like training doctors and pilots and everything too.
Yeah, simulation is pretty big. I'm also working with another type of more soft skill training in VR. The company is called Body Swaps, and you can actually train like interview, and you are immersed in the space with an avatar and all avatars in front of you, putting you in all sort of interesting scenario where you have to learn how to deal with all sort of annoying people. Very interesting.
Yeah. Cool. I can hop to some of the other questions that we have submitted. How much does it cost to hire someone? I guess it really depends. To hire someone to build a virtual gallery. Let's say someone wants to scale and wants to take on some freelancers. Is it like more than design, more than like 2D design, or because like how would you go about that? I guess is the question.
What from a freelance point of view, or I mean, yeah.
I guess the question is like how much does it cost to hire someone? Like I guess the range. I guess it really depends a lot.
Well, it depends, obviously, because every builders have their own like pricing system. But if you want to have like some ideas, you can go inside UPWorlds, and then we have like a list of a commission builders there who are open to help you build based on like different activity, and you can kind of like have an idea about like how much it is. But normally they can work with you in terms of like the pricing as well. Especially if the event, if the wall is like is something that will add up to their portfolio as well, right, Pierre?
Yeah, no, I think it's the caveat is it's such a new and nascent industry. It's a bit all over the place. It's very difficult. There is no real standard, and even because it's so young, even designer. I mean, again, I'm coming back to the Mona, which is a really good example. All sort of creators are coming from all sort of background, but there is still a lot of learning to what works and what doesn't work in VR. And then, although we do VR on the screen, which is okay, but then once you get into the headset, you would be surprised that it doesn't work as you expected it would work on the screen. So yeah, there is a lot of unknown and a lot of trial and error, and you need to. Yeah, price is going to be, that's a good question, but yeah, I don't think there is a ready to use, a ready made answer. That's also why we do with Sonya and Upwell, we try to propose those templates because obviously we are doing we are passionate and we do all the testing, and so we come up with those space that. So we have maybe 5 different galleries of different size, and we said, okay, what can we do? Maybe people can try and just buy the template, and we can change a few options, and maybe that can lower the price, because if we take, I don't know, a month to create a whole space, properly studied and properly designed, it's quite costly. So yeah, that's give you maybe an idea. But we'll be uploading more templates soon, so we can.
I think from Upworld sides, we're supporting both ways, right? Like because we're marketplace, so we're supporting like users, the one like the Pierre is saying, like how do we actually make things like more sustainable, more like easy for people to use. But like from the other end, we also support builders, and which means like builders who are looking to come into the industry, we're trying to support them with different creators economy idea. And so whether it's from commission builders or from like renting wall or from co-pricing their walls, like we kind of like reimagine how would this builders can make money in the industry that a lot of the people are still figuring out like how to make money here. And with that, and that's why that we have a community, because it's always better, right? Like to Grace will definitely agree with me on this one, but it was always better to kind of like rise up together with the community, like a community of builders together, like how we rise up together, a community of design.
And I think what's exciting, we are working on this for the last few weeks, is about these standards. So how can we actually say, okay, this is a good space, this is not so good, there is some mistake, we can improve on this. So we're kind of developing a way to score and to do, like architect would say, an audit of a space to see what works, what doesn't work. And so we're working with the community to come up with some standard that can help everyone to lift up the quality of this virtual experience.
And obviously that would translate as well to minimizing the what do you call this, the motion sickness, because like that's how we would like
if it was the only problem.
Yeah, if it's not the only problem.
Yeah, there can be a few problems. I mean, you can get stuck in a door and then you can't move anymore, or you can just drop. If there is physics, you can just drop off the wall and then just fall somewhere. I mean, yeah, there can be a lot of little issues. It's very funny.
Oh yeah, that's what happened to me. I fell off in the world. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No. What an experience when you just fall down.
Yeah, or there's no gravity and no friction, just keep sliding to the side. Yeah, I used to make VR games, so I run into those bugs as well. Yeah, so this is more towards portfolios, and the question is, what is the main benefit in comparison to your normal 3D portfolio that 3D spaces have? And I guess like, how would you maybe to reframe it, how would you recommend someone here today use a 3D portfolio? Like, would you recommend them send it to like recruiters, or like, I guess, what are the pros and cons of each?
I guess the pro is definitely it's a different first is a different experience of a portfolio. Second, it allows you to create like a I would say like a biography, like a storytelling biography of yourself, your experience, your CV. And also this is actually the place where you can have different media all together, right? In like just right there. In the 2D portfolio, you probably have to like they can read stuff, and then like for you to kind of like load the video, then they have to like they have to wait, or they have to go to another places and all those things. But here in the virtual walls, you can kind of like just have everything like displayed. Like imagine like you have a physical space, and you say like, hey, do you want to check out my biography, my life, like what do I do, my experience here, come here, and then you can get to experience it. So basically using storytelling to tell a story about your own experience, your own your professional life, your personal life, your biography, all the things that you kind of like went through. And because this is a virtual world, like we said, this is something that people can experience this in present, and this would create like a better memory also for them.
Yeah.
We have seen like,
yeah, I would say that you don't replace a 2D portfolio by a 3D portfolio, but I think it can add things that you can't do into the, for instance, any designer who's got 3D model, not easy to show in a portfolio, just image, but there you can definitely bring your 3D object in the space and invite people to watch them, even to manipulate them quite easily. So that's an experience unique to that. And then yeah, as Sonya explained, really bring, like if there is a lot of UX designer, you can design the experience of inviting the person you want to talk to or the person you want to show to into an experience where you take them on a journey, which is much easier to do when you are in space than on a PDF.
And then the cons though, because everything has a pro and cons. The cons of this one is, I would say, the knowledge of people. That's like one of the challenge that we have today, right? Whenever we tell them like, hey, let me just invite you to like my virtual worlds, they probably would like it can be like daunting probably at the first experience, like, oh, what is that, you know, like, is that complicated, you know, like people would always like have that question right in the beginning. So it's about like a learning curve. So that would be like the cons that we see, but you know, be the change that you need to. I always kind of like believe that, like and everyone else will kind of like follow you.
Yeah, I think I've been pretty, so me now, any meeting I start, I just invite people in, or virtual studio.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody is happy to join and discover something new. I mean, I think everybody's bored of Zoom and video call. So usually, yeah, there is the little child in everyone who's happy to discover something new. That's my optimism.
Yeah, I mean, like just look how people like used to not use the computer and the internet, and now here we are. And so that's like the next level up. So people will get there eventually.
Yeah, people will get there eventually, and it's
there is another. Actually, sorry, there is another. Just another thing is because you have this avatar. For a lot of people, it makes it easier to communicate, because there is less frontal situation where you are like just this with this video, you are through this avatar, and it makes a little bit more playful, and then you move around, and I know a few people that are maybe more shy, and they say, oh, well, with my avatar, I'm happy to go to talk to more people, and when we do those events, you would be surprised that actually you start to have conversation, which maybe you wouldn't have. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
In a real life, right? Yeah, I've got a lot of people coming up to me like whenever we do a like a showcase in a virtual world, and they said like, you know, it's nice to be able to talk here. I don't think I would come up to you if this is like in a real life. Like I would feel like maybe they don't want to talk to me, but this is avatar, and people feel less like scared of other people, and it's a better, I would say it's a less stressful place to network.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I definitely see people use it that more as like a barrier, like removing barriers to talk to people, which actually leads us to our next question is, do you think this, well, I'm just reading the question. Do you think this would add more to kind of problematic issue of game addiction or social awkwardness with the lack of human face-to-face interactions?
Oh, so I have to say that all right. So there is two things. Obviously, if we're still behind the screen, it's not adding much. But once you are in a headset and you have your controllers in your hand and you can really see the other person moving, I really think that a lot of our communication and our behavior are passing through our movement. Really, like I'm doing now. I'm exaggerating, talking with my hand. But once you are present with someone else doing this in VR, you actually have a pretty realistic communication with someone else. And to be honest, if you look at what the big companies are working on, the realism of the expression, then not far off. I mean, maybe in a couple of years we would be surprised how close we're going to bring our facial expression in the space as well. So
I think yeah. I mean, to the extension to what Pierre was saying, right? We have we don't know the answer, Grace, honestly. But if like I think what Pierre is saying is about like this is not a dead avatar. So this is like a real avatar, right? Like there's a person behind this avatar. And so and especially once you're inside like the what do you call this, like the controllers. Yeah, when you move around, like your body language is like readable there. Like we actually have like one of the builders that created like a world for dancing. So when you go inside that world, you can be moving in a real life and you could be dancing there in front of like a lot of people. So
but again, it's not going to replace, it's not to replace, it's just this is
an extension of like that experience, right? And it's a less daunting experience, but it still says about who you are. And that's why if you have experienced like a social VR or like any actually collaborative VR, the first thing you're gonna see is that they're going to remind you this, that, you know, remember that behind every avatar is a real person. Like, you know, be nice on that one, because it is a real person. You're gonna see their how they move in a real life. You're gonna see that in a virtual world as well.
Yeah,
but it's definitely another technology with a double-edged sword. Like every technology, you know, there will be consequences. There will be positive and negative. So that's for sure. We need to we need to see. Yeah, we need to be careful, and there is a lot of work to do.
One of the application that we saw one of the builders were making is to create like a digital twins. So she one of our builders, she's based in, I think, based in London as well, and so she is very interested in the culture heritage, and so she started building a world on some Renaissance era that now is not there anymore. And she did some research about it, and then she recreated that experience inside a virtual world, and she invited people to experience that back in the, I think, 280 or something. And so when I remember I had that experience, I went into that one, and she added all the little like ambient sounds of like how the market would sound like, how the court would sound like, you know, and it was like wow. And this was not something that you can experience in a real life anymore, because now if you go to like if you go to Greece, like you won't see that anymore. Like it's destroyed already, but you can experience that in a virtual world. So that's really nice.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think it is as like a supplement to the electronic experience. There's always stuff there's always going to be pros and cons of things, but I feel like as technology increases, they'll have more and more like ways you can practice social interactions in VR as well. And so, yeah, I know I'm running like kind of over time, but there's another question. I'm sure like multiple people ask this to me at least, is are you hiring at the moment?
I wish.
Not yet. We can chat on that one. We have a couple of people that I don't know if they're still here, but we have Victor, and then we have link for Apples. We have Victor, and then we have Keith that has started helping us since like last month. And sure, you know, we'll be if you guys are interested in like understanding more on this industry, reach out, you know, to me and Pierre. And we let's see, you know.
Yeah, also a really interesting question. I'm gonna slightly reframe it as, how do you see the world? How do you see like kind of the trends where virtual world is going after the pandemic, when things are out open? Do you see people like using it more, using it less, using it different ways, or like what would you see change happen?
I mean, I think that obviously the maybe if there is a positive, but the positive to the pandemic and the lockdown is suddenly a lot of people was more aware of the potential of using immersive tech and VR, XR to communicate because they were locked at home. But then, I mean, this immersive tech was obviously started long before the pandemic happened. So it's maybe just an accelerator somehow. Yeah, I mean, if we look at simulation training in VR in B2B, I mean, this is the way it grows the most, and there is a lot of benefit for business to train their employee in VR or for different use cases. I mean, you were talking about doctors, nurse, but it can be for communication, interview. So I think this is growing, and it's not going to stop there. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna slow down now. I think if you look at the numbers, the growth is pretty exponential for now. So we just need to find our way in there.
I think virtual world was never made to replace your physical experience, right?
No.
But it is just to it's to accelerate them like into something that is more accessible, affordable in a lot of ways. So if the question is that, is it here to stay? Yes, you know, it's here to stay, especially in a commercial industry. Like we do see this like a lot, right? This will be like a better way, like, or I would say like a more affordable way to create like a new like marketing engagement.
Well, I think for me it's also a more natural way to interact with computers, using more body and using more sense and all our perception. I think that's where the potential is, and again a fantastic, but potentially a new medium to communicate between each other across the world. So
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited to see where this space is going. Definitely makes interactions much more accessible. Like you can make a more deeper connection with someone without having to physically go there. And so, yeah, I love it. And you can even customize your own space too. Cool. So that's most of our questions. Is there anything else that our speakers would like to share with our buddies today?
I mean, I think for us, if you are interested in knowing a little bit more, we have also another community. So we have two Discord server. Mine is more around virtual architecture because that's really where my passion is, and we want to see how we can bring everything we've learned doing architecture in the physical world. And also user experience. So that's what we want to discuss. So we have a small community there, but then we bring all this know-how on UPWorlds community on Discord. So that's where we are most of the time. So please join us, and we'll have further discussion there.
Yeah, feel free to drop any links in the chat too.
So
sure,
we're close to you on. I think Discord is such a great platform. So discover design buddies and just starting there. But yeah, it's a really cool way to chat and discuss with everyone.
Yeah. Do we have time for one more question? Simon raised their hand. If you want to ask, I know it's getting like super late for you. That's why I want to ask first.
To do what?
Oh, Simon raised their hand. If you had time for one more quick question.
One more quick question. Come on, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Well, I asked you to unmute, so go ahead.
Hi, hello everybody. Good night. I will have to tell you that it's a great presentation. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to ask you, do you know if there is any difference with people or users when use different hardware? So I know that Mozilla Hubs, you can get in with VR, with your VR headsets, with your laptop, computer, or mobile phones. And there is really difference that people can feel when they are using different hardware? Thanks.
Yes, definitely. It's yeah, definitely. I mean, once you are in a headset, use your hand, you definitely have a better experience. You are more immersed there, and you can even do things that you can't do on the headphone. I mean, once you have your controllers, you can grab objects and easily manipulating them. So you kind of have more power than someone that's just on their phone with their finger on the screen. So yeah, there is a little bit of unbalance depending of your hardware, but that's not the point of hubs. The point is really to make a very accessible platform. If you want to get more with better hardware, you're probably going to go onto a more advanced platform as well. So yeah.
Awesome. I think when people get muted, they get muted forever. I asked to unmute in case Simon wanted to say something more. Yeah, Zoom issues. Let me just. Okay. Well, I know it's getting late for you, and I want to keep you here for longer. If it's all right, we can do breakout rooms, and if anyone would like to connect with our speakers, feel free to do so. We have the networking sheet dropped by one of our events coordinators, Kate, in the chat. So you can also do that and connect with all of our speakers if you have any additional questions. With that, I'm going to stop streaming to YouTube. So bye.